You may be struggling right now, feeling as though no matter how hard you work, your efforts seem to vanish into thin air. Perhaps you wake up each morning full of hope and determination, only to face obstacles that drain your spirit and shake your confidence. Maybe your savings, your investments, or the projects you pour your heart into feel constantly threatened by circumstances, by others, or even by your own fears. It's natural to feel discouraged in these moments, to question whether all your efforts are in vain. But I want you to take a deep breath and pause for a moment. Imagine your wealth, not just the money in your bank account, but the resources, talents, and opportunities you've been given as a garden. You plant seeds, you nurture them, and you water them with patience and care. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, storms sweep through, weeds appear, and it seems like nothing will ever grow. But even when the garden looks barren, life is quietly taking root beneath the surface. The protection over what you've been given isn't always visible, and often it works in ways you cannot yet see or understand. You might feel that certain people around you are working against you, that there are forces trying to take what you've built, whether through envy, deception, or ill intentions. You may even feel alone, as if the world has turned against your ambitions. But know this, the very fact that you continue to persevere, even in the face of such challenges, is evidence that there is an unseen shield around your efforts. There is a barrier, subtle yet strong, that keeps what is truly meant for you from being destroyed or taken away unfairly. Let me share a story. There was a woman who had dedicated years to her small business. She faced competitors who spread false rumors about her, employers who betrayed her trust, and countless financial setbacks that seemed endless. She could have given up. Many would have, yet she chose to keep moving forward, trusting in the value of her work and her own integrity. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, her business began to stabilize. Opportunities she hadn't even sought appeared unexpectedly. People who had tried to undermine her were unable to succeed because the foundation she had built was stronger than any attack. Her wealth, her livelihood, and her dreams were protected not because the threats vanished, but because her perseverance created an invisible shield around her efforts. Perhaps you feel that the world is unfair, that others prosper while you struggle, or that you've given more than you've received. This feeling is valid. Life can be unjust, and people may act with envy or malice. But it is in these very moments of testing that protection manifests most powerfully. The setbacks you encounter are not always signs of failure. Sometimes they are a form of safeguarding. When you face obstacles that others would have faltered against, it is not just a challenge. It is a mechanism that preserves what is rightfully yours from being wasted, misused, or stolen. You may have heard stories of sudden losses, businesses collapsing, or savings disappearing overnight. You may fear that your hard work could vanish in a blink. But consider this. Many of those who experienced sudden failure were not aligned with patience, integrity, or careful stewardship. The protection of your wealth often works quietly, shielding you from outcomes that could destroy more than just finances. It protects your spirit, your reputation, and the stability you have built. This is why it is essential to cultivate awareness and gratitude for the subtle ways your resources are safeguarded. It may not always be through immediate success or visible returns, but through endurance, through the continued ability to rise after setbacks, and through the unwavering belief that what is meant for you cannot be taken away unfairly. When you feel discouraged, remind yourself of the seeds you have planted, the steps you have taken, and the care you have invested in your work. Every act of honesty, every ounce of effort, and every moment you resist giving in to despair strengthens the shield around your wealth. It may feel invisible, but it is there, working silently, preserving the fruits of your labor from harm and corruption. So, if today you are feeling threatened, if you fear the loss of your livelihood or the betrayal of trust, remember this. What is truly yours is protected. You have the strength to withstand challenges, the wisdom to navigate deceit, and the patience to allow the unseen forces of protection to work in your favor. Every storm you endure, every difficulty you face with courage only fortifies the shield around your efforts. Even when it feels like you are losing ground, even when obstacles seem insurmountable, know that there is a force preserving what you have sown. You are not alone. You are not unprotected. And your perseverance, your integrity, and your faith in your own efforts are the very instruments through which your wealth is safeguarded from destruction. Take this to heart. The protection over your wealth is quiet, subtle, and often unseen, but it is powerful, enduring, and steadfast. Keep nurturing your garden. Keep trusting in your own efforts. And remember that nothing truly meant for you can be destroyed by the negativity, envy, or ill intentions of others. Perhaps you feel exhausted from fighting battles that seem never-ending. Maybe it feels as though every step forward is met with 2 steps backward, and you're left wondering if your efforts are making any difference at all. You might feel the weight of the world pressing on your shoulders, and in moments like these, it's easy to question whether you are truly protected, whether your wealth, your opportunities, or even your dreams can withstand the challenges you face. I want you to know something important. Resilience is not about loud victories or dramatic displays of strength. True resilience is quiet, steadfast, and patient. It is the inner courage that allows you to keep moving forward, even when no one is watching, even when the world seems stacked against you. It is the ability to endure difficulty without allowing it to break you. And this quiet resilience is one of the most powerful ways that your wealth, your efforts, and your life are protected from destruction. Imagine a river flowing through a rocky landscape. The water does not force its way through. It does not argue with laid stones in its path. It moves steadily, quietly, persistently, finding the path that allows it to keep going. Over time, it shapes the land around it, carving valleys and creating life along its banks. Your resilience works in a similar way. It doesn't always create immediate results, but it shapes the circumstances around you, protecting what you have built and allowing you to thrive even in difficult times. You may have encountered people who try to shake your confidence, to manipulate situations, or to take advantage of your efforts. They may try to convince you that your dreams are impossible, that your work is meaningless, or that your wealth is vulnerable. These people can create temporary turbulence, but they cannot dismantle the foundation that resilience has built within you. Your quiet perseverance, your dedication, and your ability to rise each time you fall are shields that others cannot see, but that work tirelessly to preserve all that is truly yours. Let me tell you about a man who built a small business from scratch. He faced competitors who spread false information, clients who defaulted on payments, and economic downturns that threatened to close his doors. Yet he refused to give in to despair. He worked quietly, consistently, and patiently. He sought solutions, adapted to challenges, and maintained his integrity even when it would have been easier to cut corners. Years later, his business not only survived, but flourished. Those who tried to undermine him found that their efforts were powerless against the quiet strength of his resilience. His wealth, his accomplishments, and his peace of mind had been protected not through luck, but through his unwavering ability to endure and keep moving forward. Perhaps you feel that the world rewards only the loudest, the most aggressive, or the most ruthless. It may seem unfair that those who act with integrity must work harder than others who take shortcuts or seek to harm. But remember, true protection is not always about immediate recognition or reward. It is about the long-term preservation of what matters most: your values, your efforts, and the wealth, material and emotional, that you have cultivated. The world may not always acknowledge your resilience, but it is quietly safeguarding your future in ways that others cannot see or understand. You may also find that your resilience inspires others, even if you are unaware of it. People notice strength, patience, and integrity, even when it is subtle. Your ability to endure challenges with grace can influence those around you. creating an environment that protects your wealth from harm. Sometimes protection comes not through barriers or walls, but through the people and circumstances that your steadfastness attracts. Your resilience sends a message that what you have built is not to be taken lightly, that it deserves care, respect, and preservation. It is natural to feel frustrated, to question why protection seems invisible, or to fear that your efforts may be wasted. But each time you persist, each time you rise after a setback, and each time you remain true to your values, you reinforce the shield around your wealth. Even when the world feels chaotic or unjust, your quiet resilience ensures that what is meant for you cannot be destroyed by the actions of others or by unforeseen challenges. Take a moment and reflect on all the times you have endured hardship. Think of the moments when you felt defeated but chose to rise again. Each of those moments was a seed of protection, quietly growing into a force that safeguards your life, your work, and your dreams. It is this resilience, more than any immediate reward or recognition, that preserves what you have worked so hard to achieve. So if you are feeling weary, if you are battling challenges that seem insurmountable, remember that your quiet perseverance is powerful. It shields your wealth, your efforts, and your dreams from destruction. It allows you to continue growing, creating, and thriving even in the face of adversity. What you cultivate through patience, integrity, and steadfastness is far more secure than you may realize, and it will withstand the storms that life may bring. Keep moving forward, keep nurturing your inner strength, and trust that your resilience is a protective force, silently preserving everything that is truly yours. You may be feeling overwhelmed right now, as though every challenge in your life is a threat to your peace, your stability, or even your wealth. Perhaps setbacks have left you questioning why certain things happen, why people act against your interest, or why opportunities sometimes seem to slip through your fingers. It's natural to feel this way. Life often tests us in ways that seem unfair, and it can be hard to see the bigger picture when you are in the midst of struggle. But sometimes the very obstacles that appear threatening are the hidden instruments of protection, guiding you toward a better path and safeguarding what is truly meant for you. Consider the way a storm affects a forest. The strong winds may break branches and the rain may flood paths, but the storm also strengthens the trees that endure it. The roots grow deeper, the trunks become sturdier, and the ecosystem thrives in ways that would not have been possible without the challenge of the storm. Life works similarly. Challenges are not merely interruptions to your plans. They are a way to protect you from hidden dangers, to prepare you for greater responsibilities, and to ensure that what you achieve is lasting and meaningful. You may have invested your time, energy, and resources into something, your career, a business, or a personal goal, only to encounter obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. Perhaps someone has tried to sabotage your work, or perhaps circumstances beyond your control have caused setbacks. In these moments, it is easy to focus on what is being lost, to dwell on the fear of failure or the injustice of the situation. But if you take a step back and look carefully, you may begin to notice the subtle ways in which your wealth, your efforts, and your dreams are being protected. There are times when a failed investment or a missed opportunity saves you from a greater loss. There are moments when the people who seem to oppose you are in reality providing a form of protection, keeping you from paths that may appear promising but are ultimately harmful. You may not see it immediately and it may feel painful, but there is wisdom in these hidden blessings. Every challenge has a lesson, every obstacle has a purpose, and every setback has the potential to shield you from greater harm. Let me share an example. A man once invested heavily in a business venture that promised great returns. He poured his savings, his time, and his energy into it. But just as things seemed to be progressing, the business faced unforeseen difficulties, and it seemed as though all his efforts had been wasted. At first, he felt devastated, believing that his wealth had been destroyed. But over time, he realized that the failure had protected him from becoming entangled with partners who were dishonest and from investing in a market that was on the verge of collapse. The setback was, in fact, a hidden blessing, a shield that preserved his future resources and safeguarded his integrity. You may find it difficult to accept that challenges can be blessings, especially when they involve loss or pain. But consider this. What seems like a loss in one moment can become a protection in the next. Life has a way of steering us toward what is safe, what is beneficial, and what aligns with our long-term growth, even when we cannot see it at the time. The protection of your wealth, your efforts, and your peace often comes in forms that are subtle, quiet, and invisible. And understanding this can transform the way you approach difficulties. When you face challenges, try to shift your focus from fear to awareness. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What might I be learning from this? How might this be protecting me in ways I do not yet understand?" By looking for the hidden blessings in your struggles, you open yourself to a deeper understanding of protection, one that is not based on luck or chance, but on the wisdom and timing of life itself. You may also find comfort in knowing that these challenges are temporary, but the lessons and protection they provide are lasting. Every moment of difficulty teaches you resilience, patience, and discernment. Every obstacle that appears to threaten your wealth or success can strengthen your judgment, improve your decision-making, and prevent you from making mistakes that could have far-reaching consequences. So, if today you feel burdened, if life seems unfair, and if you are struggling to protect what you have worked so hard to build, remember this: every challenge carries a hidden blessing. Every setback may be a shield, quietly guarding your resources, your peace, and your future. The discomfort you experience now is temporary, but the protection it brings is enduring. Take heart in knowing that life is always guiding you, even when the guidance is unseen. What may appear as a loss today could very well be the very thing that preserves your wealth, your dreams, and your inner strength for tomorrow. You are stronger than you realize, and you are surrounded by invisible protection that works even in moments of difficulty. Trust in the process, remain aware, and allow yourself to see the hidden blessings that safeguard your life and everything you hold dear. You may feel that the world around you is full of uncertainty, that people cannot always be trusted, and that danger can come from places you least expect. Perhaps you've experienced betrayal, deceit, or manipulation that made you question not only the intentions of others, but also your own judgment. It is natural to feel cautious, even fearful, when you have worked hard to build a life, a career, or wealth, only to see it threatened by the actions of others. But protecting your peace is as essential as protecting your resources, and it is in this inner tranquility that the true safeguarding of your life and your wealth begins. Think about how easily wealth can be lost, not necessarily through external misfortune, but through internal chaos. Fear, anxiety, anger, and resentment have a way of weakening your resolve, clouding your judgment, and making you vulnerable to poor decisions. The way you respond to challenges, the way you navigate distrust, and the way you maintain composure in moments of tension is critical to preserving what you have worked so hard to create. Your peace of mind is a shield quietly protecting your wealth, your relationships, and your sense of security. Consider the story of a woman who had built a thriving business over many years. She encountered a competitor who tried to sabotage her reputation and clients. Initially, she felt furious, betrayed, and deeply unsettled. But instead of reacting impulsively, she chose to cultivate calmness and clarity. She focused on her work, maintained her professionalism, and refused to let anger dictate her actions. Over time, her calm approach preserved her client base, protected her reputation, and allowed her business to grow even stronger. Her wealth, both tangible and intangible, was safeguarded not by confrontation, but by maintaining her inner peace. You may feel frustrated that people cannot always be trusted, that others may take advantage of your hard work, or that circumstances seem unfair. These feelings are valid, but allowing them to control your emotions can be more destructive than any external threat. When you nurture calmness, patience, and discernment, you create a protective force around your life. This force does not just safeguard your material wealth, it preserves your emotional well-being, your clarity of thought, and your ability to make wise decisions that ensure your long-term success. Sometimes the greatest protection comes from knowing when to step back, when to observe, and when to act with wisdom rather than impulsiveness. You may feel pressured to respond immediately to threats or to defend yourself at every turn, but rushing into reaction can leave you exposed. Instead, by remaining grounded and composed, you allow the natural flow of events to reveal the truth, exposing deceit and false intentions while safeguarding your own integrity. Think of your peace as a sanctuary. When you protect it, you are not being passive. You are actively creating a secure environment in which your wealth, your relationships, and your goals can flourish. Just as a well-guarded fortress protects what lies within, your inner calm shields your life from the chaos, envy, and negativity that can surround you. Every moment you maintain composure, every time you resist, reacting out of fear or anger, reinforces this protective force around you. You may also notice that maintaining peace attracts positive opportunities and trustworthy people. When your mind is clear and your heart is calm, you make better decisions, notice opportunities that others miss, and attract relationships built on respect and integrity. Protection is not just about avoiding harm. It is about creating conditions where your wealth and life can thrive. By safeguarding your peace, you are actively ensuring that your resources are not lost to rush decisions, impulsive reactions, or the influence of negativity. If you are facing distrust or betrayal today, remember that the ultimate safeguard is within you. Your reactions, your composure, and your ability to remain calm in the face of uncertainty are powerful tools that protect not only your wealth, but also your spirit. Every moment you resist fear and anger, every moment you choose patience and wisdom over rash action, you are strengthening the invisible shield that preserves your life, your work, and your future. Life will always present challenges. People will sometimes act unfairly, and circumstances may seem threatening, but the protection that comes from peace, clarity, and inner strength is enduring. It cannot be shaken by the actions of others, it cannot be bought or stolen, and it is far more valuable than any material resource. By guarding your peace, you are ensuring that every effort, every investment, and every opportunity you pursue is preserved and nurtured for the long term. So if you feel anxious, fearful, or uncertain today, take a deep breath and remind yourself, your peace is a fortress, your composure is a shield. And through this inner calm, your wealth, your goals, and your life are quietly, powerfully, and steadfastly protected. You may be feeling impatient right now, as though time itself is working against you. Perhaps you have invested effort, money, or energy into your dreams, yet the results seem slow to appear. You might wonder if all your hard work will ever bear fruit, or if the obstacles in your path are too great to overcome. These feelings are normal, and they are shared by anyone who has ever pursued something meaningful. But it is in patience that protection for your wealth and your future takes root. Consider patience not as passive waiting, but as active endurance. It is the ability to continue nurturing your goals, maintaining your integrity, and working toward your dreams even when the results are not immediate. Patience allows you to navigate life's challenges with wisdom rather than frustration. It is through patience that you preserve your resources, avoid rash decisions, and ensure that what you build is lasting and meaningful. There was a man who dreamed of creating a business that would provide not only financial stability but also a sense of purpose. He faced setbacks, competitors, and financial struggles. Many would have abandoned their plans in frustration, but he chose patience. He continued to refine his strategy, improve his skills, and approach every challenge with careful thought. Over time, his business flourished. Not because luck intervened, but because his patience allowed him to avoid mistakes, stay aligned with his values, and seize opportunities at the right moment. His wealth and success were protected by his ability to endure and remain steadfast. You may feel that patience is difficult, that every delay or setback tests your resolve. It is true, patience is rarely easy, but it is precisely this challenge that strengthens your character and safeguards your future. When you react impulsively or give in to frustration, you leave yourself vulnerable to errors, poor decisions, and lost opportunities. By cultivating patience, you create a protective barrier around your wealth, your efforts, and your dreams. You ensure that what you build is sustainable and resilient, not fleeting or fragile. Patience also teaches discernment. When you wait and observe, you gain clarity about the people and situations around you. You can identify who is supportive, who may have hidden motives, and what decisions will truly benefit you in the long run. This awareness acts as a shield, protecting your wealth from those who would take advantage of haste or inattention. It allows you to make choices that align with your values and long-term goals, rather than being swayed by immediate pressures or fleeting emotions. Consider too that life often tests us through timing. Opportunities may seem delayed, challenges may persist, and results may feel distant. But these delays are often a form of protection. They allow you to grow, prepare, and strengthen your foundation, so that when success comes, it is secure and enduring. The moments of waiting, though uncomfortable, are not wasted. They are the invisible guardians of your future, ensuring that your wealth and your accomplishments are preserved for the long term. You may also notice that patience brings peace of mind. When you release the pressure to control every outcome immediately, you allow space for clarity, creativity, and strategic thinking. This calm, collected approach not only protects your wealth, but enhances it, as you are able to make decisions that maximize value, minimize risk, and align with your higher purpose. The wealth that emerges from patience is often more stable, more rewarding, and more protected than anything achieved through haste or impulsiveness. So, if you are feeling frustrated by delays, setbacks, or slow progress today, remember that patience is a shield. Each moment you endure with grace, each step you take without succumbing to frustration, strengthens the protection around your wealth, your efforts, and your dreams. Every act of patience is an investment in a secure, lasting, and flourishing future.
Embrace patience as a powerful tool of protection. Trust that your continued efforts, even when progress feels slow, are safeguarded by the very act of waiting, observing, and persevering. Your wealth, your goals, and your life are being nurtured through your patience, and the results will endure because they were allowed to grow at the right pace, in the right way, and with the right foundation.
You may be feeling uncertain today, questioning whether the challenges you face are ever going to end, or whether the efforts you've invested in your life, your work, or your wealth will ever truly be protected. Perhaps it feels as though the world is unpredictable and you cannot see the forces at work that safeguard what you have built. In moments like these, it is easy to feel vulnerable, exposed, and alone. But it is precisely when you cannot see the protection that it is working most powerfully on your behalf. Trust is the quiet, invisible force that shields your life and your resources. It is the belief, even when circumstances seem uncertain, that what is meant for you cannot be destroyed. Trust allows you to move forward with confidence. Even when the path ahead is unclear, it gives you the courage to take calculated risks, to continue working diligently, and to maintain integrity in situations where shortcuts or compromise might seem tempting. This trust is not blind. It is grounded in your perseverance, your discernment, and your commitment to protect what is rightfully yours. Consider someone who has faced repeated setbacks in their career. Each project they pursued seemed to encounter obstacles beyond their control. Yet, they persisted. They maintained integrity in the face of dishonesty, continued learning despite mistakes, and nurtured relationships built on mutual respect. Slowly, opportunities appeared, unexpected, timely, and aligned with their values. The protection that seemed invisible all along was always present. Their wealth, their reputation, and their peace of mind had been safeguarded by their trust and consistent effort. You may also encounter people who doubt you, who act with envy, or who seek to undermine your progress. Their actions can create fear and doubt, tempting you to question the security of what you've built. But trust acts as a shield against these external pressures. It allows you to see beyond the immediate chaos and recognize that there are invisible safeguards preserving your resources, your efforts, and your well-being. When you trust in these unseen forces, you are able to remain calm, focused, and proactive, rather than reactive and fearful. Think about the times in your life when something seemed to be lost, yet later revealed itself to be a blessing. Perhaps a failed opportunity saved you from a harmful partnership, or a delay protected you from a risky decision. These experiences are reminders that there are forces at work beyond your understanding. Forces that protect your wealth, your opportunities, and your future. Trusting in these forces does not mean passivity, it means acting with wisdom, patience, and integrity, while recognizing that outcomes are often guided by unseen protection. You may feel tempted to control every detail, to micromanage outcomes, or to push relentlessly against challenges. While diligence and effort are important, over-control can lead to stress, mistakes, and missed opportunities. Trust allows you to balance effort with awareness, action with patience, and perseverance with acceptance. It is through this balance that your wealth and life are most securely protected. And it is this trust that allows you to navigate adversity without losing your peace of mind. Let me share a story of a man who invested in a new venture with careful planning. Despite his diligence, the market shifted unexpectedly, and many doubted the viability of his investment. He could have panicked, reacted hastily, or abandoned his plans entirely. Instead, he continued to act with integrity, made thoughtful adjustments, and trusted that the circumstances unfolding were protecting him from even greater risks. Over time, the venture not only recovered but flourished, proving that the invisible forces he trusted were indeed shielding his wealth and ensuring its growth. So if you are feeling anxious about your life, your work, or your resources, remind yourself that protection is often unseen. What is meant for you cannot be destroyed, and the forces safeguarding your efforts are at work even when you cannot perceive them. Trust allows you to maintain focus, cultivate calm, and make decisions that preserve and enhance what you have worked so hard to build. Take comfort in knowing that your wealth, your dreams, and your life are surrounded by unseen protection. Even when circumstances appear threatening, the foundation you have created, combined with your perseverance, patience, and integrity, ensures that you are safeguarded. Trust in this invisible shield and allow it to guide your actions, strengthen your resolve, and protect all that you hold dear. Your efforts are not in vain. Your wealth is not at risk when nurtured with diligence and wisdom. And your life, supported by unseen forces of protection, is moving towards stability, growth, and fulfillment in ways that are quietly powerful and enduring. Let's say you may be feeling weary after long seasons of struggle, watching as challenges test your patience, your courage, and your faith in yourself. Perhaps the weight of responsibilities, the pressures of uncertainty, or the actions of those who wish to undermine your efforts have left you questioning whether your hard work will ever truly be safeguarded. It is natural to feel this way, and it is in these moments of vulnerability that the deepest understanding of protection can emerge. Imagine your life as a carefully built structure. Every brick you have laid, every effort, every act of integrity, every choice to persevere forms the foundation. You may face storms, winds of doubt, or attempts to destabilize your work, but the foundation is strong, built not just by what you see, but by the unseen care, effort, and protection that you have cultivated. This foundation ensures that nothing truly meant for you can be destroyed. The journey to preserving your wealth, your dreams, and your peace is rarely straightforward. There will be moments when outcomes seem delayed, when efforts appear fruitless, or when setbacks make you question the worth of continuing. But each of these moments is part of the protective process. Life often shields what is truly yours by testing, refining, and fortifying it. Every challenge you endure strengthens the durability of your accomplishments, ensuring that what survives is lasting, resilient, and meaningful. Consider someone who has invested years into their work, only to face repeated obstacles. At first, the frustration can feel overwhelming. Yet, over time, these challenges shape wisdom, resilience, and discernment. They prevent hasty decisions, guide careful planning, and protect against errors that might have caused irreparable loss. The hardships you encounter are not indicators of weakness. They are instruments of preservation, quietly guarding your wealth, your efforts, and your dreams. You may feel tempted to rush, to push harder, or to attempt to control every outcome. But true protection comes when you balance diligence with trust, effort with patience, and action with reflection. By embracing this balance, you create a life that is resilient, your wealth that is secure, and your peace that is enduring. You learn to navigate adversity without losing your essence, allowing your efforts to flourish within a framework of steady, lasting protection. Let me share a story. A woman had worked tirelessly to establish a community project that would benefit her neighborhood. She faced bureaucratic obstacles, criticism from those who did not understand her vision, and moments when the project seemed destined to fail, yet she persisted, focusing on integrity, patient action, and thoughtful planning. In the end, her project not only succeeded, but became a lasting resource for her community. Her success was safeguarded not by luck, but by the careful cultivation of patience, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to doing what was right. Her wealth, her impact, her influence, and her personal fulfillment was protected through her steadfastness and discernment. Perhaps you are questioning whether the protection you need is real, whether the unseen forces you cannot see are truly at work. Take heart in knowing that the very fact you continue to persevere, act with integrity, and maintain hope is evidence of protection in action. What is truly yours, whether wealth, opportunity, or personal growth, cannot be taken away unjustly, nor destroyed by malice, misfortune, or error. The foundation you have built, the resilience you have nurtured, and the patience you have cultivated form an invisible shield around your life. Every step you take with care, every choice made with integrity, and every moment you endure with hope strengthens this protection. You are never alone in your efforts, and what is meant for you will find its way to flourish. Life may test you, challenges may arise, and people may act against your interests, but the things you cultivate with diligence, patience, and discernment are safeguarded in ways that are subtle, quiet, and enduring. As you move forward, embrace the assurance that your wealth, your dreams, and your life are protected. The forces that preserve what is rightfully yours are working silently, powerfully, and persistently. Trust in your ability to endure, to navigate challenges with grace, and to maintain integrity no matter the circumstances. By doing so, you not only protect what you have worked so hard to build, but you also create a life that is resilient, fulfilling, and secure. Take comfort in the knowledge that your efforts are never wasted, your perseverance never overlooked, and your dreams never abandoned. What is truly yours cannot be destroyed. Let this assurance fill you with courage, hope, and the confidence to continue moving forward, knowing that your life, your wealth, and your legacy are being protected in ways that are enduring, invisible, and unwavering.